I'm here again with George. This is a machine I've heard an awful lot about and even written about, so it's nice to see one. This is the Moditech electric workstation. George, you can tell me how this works, why everyone should have one.
Strange enough, I mean, laminating's an art form, and for many years there's been a lot of roll laminators. Then we went into flatbed laminators, and the benefits are larger panels. It's for the 10x5s, the sign industry, the Diabond panels or the ACM panels, or the Foamex or the Corex. And this gives you that flexibility to be able to laminate them as and when they're printed, whether that be with a laminate or just a white vinyl, it doesn't matter, or an application tape. So the Moditech came about. The owner of Moditech in Sweden actually developed the Rolls roller, and it's from that point that he branched out and decided that he wanted to make a machine that was more electronic rather than hydraulic or needed air with pneumatics. So this is where the EWS came about, and I have to say, since we installed it, it's been excellent. The sign industry has a large usage for this. A lot of the Horden boards are mounted, and whether that be they're printed first and then mounted with a protective laminate, then it's perfect for that. Other than that, you can put an over laminate on or a dry wipe, which nowadays with the graffiti, that's what people are looking for. Okay. And it's perfect. And it's perfect for, as you can see, the height that it can do. So 10 mil, 15 mil, and any type of metal signage, it works perfect.
Okay, so I guess I see there's a Mamaki print and cut machine behind you there. So it's like a nice alternative to a big flatbed printer, as it were.
Yes, it's not a printer as such, but what it allows you to do is to if you can't afford the JFX 200 Mamaki's big printer, the 8 by 4 foot printer, and you've got a CJV, then you can print the graphic and mount the graphic, and equally until the point where you're doing so much of that you can then afford to just buy the larger machine and go direct. But it still, at some point, might need a laminate on, so you would need something of this scale. And one of the benefits, and when we first saw the machine, was that it actually, when it's packaged up, it doesn't come flat. It comes vertical, so it goes through the door. It goes into many areas that the larger machines can't. They require a full installation, which is piece by piece. So yes.
So I'm going to show you here. This is a standard door in this room, which is not a huge room.
No, it's not. No,
you've tilted it vertical, and it's just come through that door, which is amazing, really.
I mean, space is a premium, but I mean the machine works. You can see.
Yeah. So what are the real sort of core benefits that people get from this?
When you've got the machine in your factory, there are. So again, they're saying electronic workstation. A lot of it's built around the ergonomics of how people work in factories. So the machine has a function and a memory function to raise the height. And I'll do that. And you can see so you can set it to a person or persons using the machine. And they might be comfortable at this height or a lower height.
Yeah.
And there's a memory settings here, 4 settings. So as you can see, it's going higher. So you might have tall people or short people.
Yeah.
And then it has the benefit of at a certain height, obviously, and people are keen on how people work and ergonomics and how they stand all day. There's a tilt function, which means you can just sit at one side.
There you go.
Pull up a chair and carry on your work at a better angle, let's say.
So this is for doing activities where you're repeatedly bending over something. It can be quite painful.
There's a lot of people that do vinyl text, and you need to bend over so they get a chair and they're at the right level and they're not hunched over, and they can bring the media to them.
Yeah.
And then start their work. And typically they would be weeding out lots of vinyl text and be on. Now it's quite difficult. Then the other thing is with vinyl text is being able to see through it. And the other feature that it does have, it comes with, it's fully illuminated. So you can actually see through, see where the text is that you've peeled.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And this would be typical of if you had thousands of these to do and they were needed weeding out, then this is how you do it. And you can see the back, so you know you're fine.
Yeah. Nice.
And they're the sort of working features or the ergonomic features of the machine. Then it has its laminating features, which again equally as good. So it's not just a laminator as such, you know.
Okay, so that's obviously these bars. Is it a cold laminator, I guess?
This one is a cold laminator, and it does come hot if you require hot.
Oh, okay.
You can buy the heated roller. I'll take it down. Yeah, hot laminators again have a benefit and reduce any silvering, and silvering's where it hasn't exactly gone down perfectly on the substrate that you're laminating. And this also can come with a fully automatic remote control function, so you can just set it in motion, heated roller, and do it. But for the sake of what we do in the industry that we're in, you can buy cold laminates, and equally you can use application fluid, which is quite good, or you can just get it in one hit, as we'll try today.
Okay.
It also,
no pressure on that.
While we're on, yeah. It can be, so it's not, once you install it, it's not stationary. If you take the machine all the way to the base, it will lift up and you'll be able to move it.
Oh, wow. That's
so it automatically raises itself.
That was very, what does this weigh, this machine?
It's probably 1 point, I'll double check. I think no, 750 kilos. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just slid it along very comfortably.
Yeah, and as soon as you go up, it plants itself back on the floor, and you can't move it because of its weight. But it just means if you did need to relocate the machine, it's very, very simple to do.
Okay.
It's not a massive operation. So the principle of lamination is applying pressure through a rubber roller onto an adhesive film onto a substrate, and that substrate could be Corex, Diabond, as mentioned, Foamex, and this is typically one here. And what I've done is I've just cut it with inside the aperture of the material. It can be bigger than, it can be 8x4, it can be 10x5, as big as you need it to be. So what we would do is we would offer up, there's a position that we require, bring the laminator over, take the roller down. On this side we have pressure settings 1 to 6. So average about 3, it's perfect. Corex than that is remove the backing paper. Now the material is locked in place because the roller's on it, so it's not going anywhere. So there's no worry about it moving. Once you've set your position, that's fine. And then it's a case of just roll the material over, go to the other side, peel the material off, and do the opposite. Now what I'll do is I'll put a run on the back to stop it just jumping off, and then you don't have to, it can go, I'll just do this, it can go just straight off.
Yeah.
But there you go, and now you have a perfectly laminated film to Foamex.
Brilliant. And that, okay, that's small, but that could just as easily be an 8x4.
That could be an 8x4, 10x5. It could be aluminium composite material. It could be Corex. It could be anything. Stainless steel, aluminium, as I said, anything.
And once again, I think we said this with the other thing, YPS has done the sort of hard graft of finding the best media and other products for this. So what are you
I mean, we can't control what people buy, but we would always offer best advice. And I think that's all you can do. I think and cost has a big part to play in most people's decisions and what they do. But what we would say is, if you're going to buy something for now and the future, you could buy a roll laminate and might not do the flat sheets because it works purely from rolls. If you wanted a flat laminate, which is a workstation, self-healing mat, light box, all the benefits and features this has, then it's perfect. The cost comparison, again, it's worth looking at. And you may go into bigger things, and these can be extendable or it can be 2 added, so you can go to any length. And I've seen them at that length. Some of the bigger sign makers do that. But I think what you've got to remember is, if you get that wrong, by whatever other process you do, the cost incurred in that, you have to reprint that. So this is it works. You just want a little bit of training, install from the YPS team, training from the YPS team, and I think you'll find you'll hit the ground running from the day it's installed.